Little heads up before this video begins, fellas. I want to apologize that the aspect ratio looks a little funky. I accidentally recorded the wrong scene in OBS, so instead of recording my gameplay footage, it recorded my screen, so it's a little cropped at the bottom and on the side, and even more so, it was worse, because I initially played a game of Summoner's Rift before this happened, and that one somehow was cropped even more horribly. But afterwards, we decided to play an ARAM game as we usually do, and wouldn't you know it, I got Braum, so I guess that was a good thing. But hey, I managed to get Mastery 6 Braum off that Summoner's Rift game, so that's pretty good. Any case, fellas, again, apologies if it looks a little weird, but hopefully you can enjoy it anyway, and I'll catch you on the next one. Woo! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. This one's going to be a bit weird. You notice we're back on ARAM, and that's because the first recording I did, I played Summoner's Rift, and then immediately afterwards, usually when we record these casual reviews, me and my friends like to play an ARAM or two afterwards just to wind down and chill before I have to go and edit this. And I got Braum. Poetic that if we do it on the Summoner's Rift, or on ARAM rather. I don't know if this is going to become a trend for the Freljordian champions, because both times were by happenstance. I think the one time I try to force it on the next one, I'm not going to get it for like 60 games, and then we stuck playing ARAM forever. You know what I do hope lasts forever, though? Segue fan art section. I'm going to get so good at these segues, you guys. Amazing. So many fun. I really like the ones where they put Braum in a sweater. That's just... It's a thing you don't really see very much, where Braum doesn't have, or where Braum is, the words, where Braum has a shirt. It's fun. Anyway, yes, amazing. Wonderful, fellas. So here we go, Braum. This is going to be interesting because I've already talked about him before, and it might be a bit difficult to focus because ARAMs are very hectic. The last game I played on Summoner's Rift was very easy to commentate over because it was just a snooze fest. It was typical. It was typical 80 carry support. Nobody does anything. Farm bot lane, do nothing. Gotcha. But hopefully I can get enough of my thoughts out. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about Braum. I feel like most people don't because he's pretty cut and dry. So when Braum was born, he was already big and strong, a lot larger than most children. And his mom was a very righteous person, so she taught him right from birth that you are gifted, Braum. You are stronger than others. Ouch! You are stronger than others. And you need to use your gifts for good. Use your gifts to protect people, not to dominate others. That is true strength. And that was further emphasized when a rival tribe of theirs arrived and Braum's mom saved them all. I forget what it was, the avalanche or beasts or something. But regardless, she saved them all, and Braum was curious. So, Mom, why would you do that? They hate us. They're constantly trying to take our sheep and stuff. And Braum's mom said, well, look what happened. And then the rival tribe became allies that day because of the act of kindness, and that kind of inspired Braum. Wow, kindness really is a great motivator. Bring everyone together. And he realized the people of Freljord aren't really isolated tribes. They're all one big tribe. They're all family. And that's kind of that's his driving force of what he wants to do. He wants to unite all of Freljord as one big family. Everyone can get along and have a good time. So inspired by his mom's actions, he uses his strength now. To help people in need, and he became kind of a local legend in his hometown, so much so that he realized, wow, I can help all the people here. Imagine if I could help all the people across the entirety of the Freljord. And as he traveled across the Freljord, the legends only grew. Beyond just a local hero, now he's literally a living folktale. People come across him, he's like a living legend. And granted, not all the stories about him are true. A lot of them are fabricated, a lot of them are exaggerated. However, he leans into it super hard. He loves all these tales and stories about him, and he doesn't really care if they're exaggerated, so long as the tales are being used for good, to entertain people, to inspire people to be kind to others as well. That's what matters to him the most, you know? He likes the persona of being this kind of perfect person that just wants to help people. I think maybe he has a little bit of an ego, but it's not in a bad way, you know? He thinks pretty highly of himself, but in more so a way that he just wants other people to like him and to like other people. He's even friends with Trendemir, of all people. I mean, I personally, Trendemir is kind of a dickhead. So if you could befriend Trendemir, you're probably doing something right. He doesn't really ally himself with any tribe either. Again, he thinks the whole Freljord is his family. Everyone is equal, so he likes everyone. Not everyone likes him. You know, the whole he wants everyone to be friendly so they can all cozy down, have a nice cup of stew, and be a poro herder when he gets old. That's not the kind of lifestyle the Winter's Claw wants, or the Lysandre's Frostguard want at all. So the Avarosans definitely like him more than most other people, and they kind of adopted him in a way. He's not allied with them per se, but he's definitely good chums with Tryndamere and Ashe and all them folk. And that's really kind of where Braum's lore ends. I didn't really realize how short it is, but he kind of just is a nice guy going around the Freljord helping people wherever he can. That really not much else to it, and I don't know if you really need much else. It's kind of a simple character in that regard. And thankfully, as a very popular champion, he's not short on extras. Oh, he's not short on extra stuff. He's been in tons of cinematics. Uh-oh. He gets all this merchandise and things. He was in Ruin King as one of the main characters, which was very strange that he was there. They explained it in the game, of course, but it felt very peculiar. Him and Yasuo and Ahri, I guess. I don't know. It was a strange thing, but I'm happy he was in, because those interactions, whew. I made me sad because Yasuo was such an asshole to him for most of the game, and eventually he turns around. But like, how could you be an asshole to Braum? That just makes me like dislike Yasuo even more. So I guess as I'm trying to commentate over this literal nightmare, we are currently, I think, triple or quadruple the amount of kills and assists in 10 minutes as that last game we played on Summoner's Rift, and that one was 22 minutes. So that's the ARAM experience, but also the bot lane experience, I suppose. I will block it for you. I can't do a very... I feel like anytime I try and do a Braum impression, it just turns into bootleg teenage Zangief, and it just... It's not good. So Braum's lore isn't anything too crazy, but it is enjoyable. Oh. That character's not enjoyable. I think one of the things I do like about him, though, mostly design-wise, is he is probably the only Freljordian champion who is shirtless, and it makes sense. So I think, who are the shirtless Freljordian champions? There's Braum, Ashe, Tryndamere, Udyr, Gragas. Olaf's got that crazy V-neck going on, but I don't really count that. Olaf just looks horrible in every regard. Do not worry. Braum will save you. Oh. It is fine. I think it just works because he's a living folk hero. The idea is that his whole tales are about him being invincible and indomitable and resistant to the cold, because we know that Iceborn are not resistant, or they're not immune to the cold, they're just resistant to it. So it kind of adds to his legendary status that he's able to brave the cold that well. It just makes him all the more inspiring in that way. Whereas Tryndamere, Gragas, Ashe, they're just shirtless for no reason, or they're not dressed for the Freljord. Granted, that's also because they were designed before the actual proper aesthetics of the Freljord were released. Braum released at a very good time, where the aesthetics have finally been figured out. You know, the darker blues and the golds and the fur. I think if Braum had released in like 2009, he probably wouldn't look anywhere near as good. I also love his build. He's a tank. He's a, what's the class? I think it's Bulwark. It's the name of the class. Very underplayed class. I don't know who is this. Leona fit into that? I don't know. He doesn't do any damage, so he would fit in the category of where Rel was, but Rel actually does damage now, which is a very weird sentence to say. But I like his build not only because he's big and bulky, it makes him look like a tank, but because it makes him look like a circus strongman. I think unapologetically, he looks like one of them. And that adds to his goofy persona. He's a very goofy guy. He likes laughing. He likes having a good time with people and being friendly. And also, because he's kind of a showman, he likes showing off to people. He likes showing how great he is and how much he can help people. So the fact that he looks like this, this goofy guy, the fact that he looks like this goofy performer, almost, it amplifies him, because it is kind of a performance. He's trying to play this crazy folk hero brought to life, so I really like it. My only real critiques for Braum's design really would be, I guess, he does have the Pringles head. Okay. He's got the big bushy eyebrows, the bald head, and the big mustache. It's hard not to look at him and think, wow, The Pringles guy really got some gains. But my other critique is, obviously, I think the door, or his shield, because his shield is a door, is about as big as it possibly could be. But his door is as big as it could possibly be to not clash in-game. But this door, like, how many people could fit through a door that big? That's a small door, and I'm pretty sure the door was made by some ancient troll king or something, some troll. And I don't know if you see the Rise cinematic, but trolls are huge. So what you could fit a troll's forearm in this thing? Again, I feel like I'm just breezing through Braum because everything. I think I've said it before already in the Champion Rewind, but also most things that people have to say about Braum have been said 1,000 times. Though I guess one thing that everyone. I feel like they have to gaslight themselves into not thinking this, but it is true. Braum is an enigma because everyone loves Braum. Everyone loves this guy. They love his personality. They love his design. He's just a great guy. I struggle to think of anyone who actively dislikes Braum. I don't know how you could. He's just really fun character, unique. There's not really any character in League like him. He's great. How could you not like Braum? And yet, nobody plays him. And like, he is consistently always in the bottom bracket of being unpopular. It's not even like Aurelion Sol was in a similar position, but A-Sol was just kind of a fan thing, where like the fans liked Aurelion Sol, but he didn't get anything. He wouldn't appear in any cinematics. He wouldn't appear in any merchandise. He wouldn't get anything. But Braum is everywhere. Braum is practically a mascot for the company. I argue he's alongside Jinx and Ahri and Yasuo. Like, he's up there. He's in everything. Everyone loves Braum. Everyone knows it, and they use him to advertise everything. I really want to see him in Project L, by the way. Please put him in Project L. But nobody plays him. And I think I summarized it a bit in the Champion Rewind. It's just because he's just kind of boring. He's in the support class, which makes sense. A lot of the supports. Most people who play League of Legends want to be able to do damage. So if you have a class of champions, or a champion in specific like Braum, who really does not do any damage at all, he's not going to be as popular as your Zeds and your Yones and your Akalis and your high mobility assassins. The thing is, I imagine if Braum did do some extra damage, he would be very popular, and I feel like I can confirm this. I think we can confirm that if Braum did a bit more damage, he would be very popular, and that's because of Support Pantheon. And that sounds a little bit weird, but if you really think about it, Support Pantheon was just Braum, but better. They do the exact same thing. They stun their opponent, they have a big wall that blocks everything, and they like to roam around the map helping people. You're not gonna kill me, Aphelios. It's not... I'm sorry, buddy. It's not happening. My shield is here for me. Man, Jack Show is so stupid. I'm actually invincible. They're not. Before they had to nerf it, Pantheon could block tower shots with his E. His stun is point and click. You can't miss it, and it happens instantaneously, whereas Braum, you have to land a skill shot and or walk up to them slowly and auto attack, then auto attack 3 more times. And to roam, Braum just has to run around the map at a leisurely pace with no dashes or nothing, whereas Pantheon could just ult. They accomplished pretty much the exact same thing, except Pantheon is more effective at it, and Pantheon has his Q. He does big damage on top of it all, so why would you ever play Braum when you could just play Pantheon instead? Granted, I don't even know if Support Pantheon's a thing anymore. I don't see it anymore personally, but I'm kind of happy it's gone away, and I feel bad for Braum because I really like him. I want him to be more popular. I don't know how you would. Would you have to give him a CGU? I don't know, because I think, not like Aurelion Sol, where I think Aurelion Sol really didn't hit the mark of the fantasy of a space dragon. He had his QE combo, but that was kind of it. Oh, I might have been up more than I could shoot. Never mind, I'm Braum. I am Braum. I am the living folk hero. I never die. Ugh! I think where A-Sol floundered at being a really great gameplay representation of what he's supposed to be, Braum is fantastic. He's got the ice powers, the big shield that he walks around to protect people. He's got his dash where he dashes to an ally to help them and give them resistances. Like, that makes perfect sense. I think if you're going to update Braum, I think maybe make his ult a bit more impactful. It looks like it should do a lot more than it actually does. And whenever I think of Braum, I forget which set it was. It might have been set 4 of TFT, but there was a set of TFT where Braum was a 4 costume and did his big knockup, and then knockup went sky high. It was like a Cho'Gath Q knockup. But then you play it in League and it just does like a little, like a tiny little jump. It really does anything. What else is there about Braum? Probably his skins. He's got a pretty good selection of skins, I'd say. I mean, it's Crime City Braum, or I mean, I like the Unico Mafia, but you know, same thing. I really like Sugar Rush Braum, where his shield's a giant waffle. That's great. Santa Braum is peak. It is the best Santa skin in the game, bar none. Gragas is disgusting, and Draven is, oh, nice. I have like 5 more seconds to talk about things. I thought the game was going to be over before I got to finish talking about this. Yeah, I don't think any other Santa skin even compares to Braum. Just, unless they make Santa Ornn. Well, game's ending. So that was a really fast casual champion review, everyone. Same as the last game. Thank you for stopping by. Yep, love Braum. I don't know what you expected, but I guess I'll see you next week. We're finally moving on to the Seed Champions. I believe it's Caitlyn, so I'll see you then, fellas. Woohoo!